Hey everyone, welcome to Liquid Rocket Wolves, and today we got a very interesting video for you guys. A lot of things have been going on recently. The Chinese have a 6th generation fighter, and this has kind of had a panic effect all over the world, and they also have a virus. They've done it again. It's another virus from China. So not just 6th generation aircraft, they have viruses too. Anyway, so the panic effect of the 6th generation aircraft is that the Europeans were bored. They were like, there's a game going on in Asia and we're not part of it. So they were like, okay, we're going to join in. And they have offered us, the Republic of India, two offers basically. One is the UK, Japanese, and the Italian offer. I think it's Tempest, the name of the aircraft, and then there is the FCAS, the Future Combat Air System of the French, Germans, and the Spanish. So these two offers have been given to us, the Republic of India, and we'll talk about which offer is better. But let's make one thing clear. And by the way, please subscribe to the channel. You're coming back to see us, but you're not subscribing. It helps us a lot. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Sometimes we drop videos, you don't even know about it. Go ahead, do it. Okay, anyway, let's talk about the offer from the UK, the Great Britain, Japan, and the Italians first. So this offer is a complete no-no for us. Why? Because the United Kingdom has very, very good relationships with one little country called the Pakistan. And most of their officers train in Sandhurst Academy. They even have Pakistani officer instructors in the academy. Most of their intelligence officials train in the Shrivenham Air Force Military Station. I think its name is that. I hope I'm correct. And are trained by the MI5 and MI6. I'm talking about the Inter-Services Intelligence. There is a whole history of how the Pakistanis have misled the United States, even when they were in Afghanistan, and so on and so forth. And then there is the cultural relationship they have with Pakistan. We have the cultural relationship too, but here's the thing, there's just too much going on with the Pakistanis, okay? There's just so much, and there's always the United Kingdom has one of the biggest diplomatic missions in Pakistan. So yeah, no thanks. So the government of India is probably not going to choose this offer. So we come to the FCAS, the Future Combat Air System from the French, Germans, and the Spaniards. So this is probably what we're going to choose if we're going to choose. Okay, and even if you don't choose this program, we're probably going to be cooperating with these countries quite intrinsically. I'll tell you how in the video. So let's talk about first France. The French and us Indians have a very, very long relationship. From that onwards, we come to the modern times after the independence. One of our biggest defense suppliers have provided us with various technologies, have helped us get our space mission in the initial phase, get up to mark. They have helped us get to the nuclear program in some way. Also, importantly, in 1999, when we tested the Pokhran 2 test. Okay, so in Pokhran, when we tested our nuclear device underground, of course, French stood with us. The President Jacques Chirac said, I want to see India as a land of power, not just a land of snake charmers and palaces. That was his vision. And he has also at that time said that the omission of India from the world nuclear order is a mistake and should be rectified. So the French and us, we are thick as thieves. Okay, we are very good. We have a very good relationship, and it has just grown and grown. Okay, after we still have a lot of aircraft that are French. We're developing facilities to provide spare parts for the Rafale. The Safran has one of the facilities is being developed inside India. Safran is the main organization that is responsible for the development of jet engines for the French aerospace industry. And more importantly, there's a contract between Safran and the GTRE, the gas turbine research establishment of the DRDO from India. So they have these contracts with us, and our relationship is just getting stronger. So one reason is this, that we already have a quite established relationship with the French aerospace industry. The other reason is our aircrafts. The HL Tejas and the Rafale, both of our aircrafts were never designed to be stealth, but somehow they ended up being kind of semi-stealth. For example, the HL Tejas and the Rafale have kind of similar RC, as the HL Tejas has 0.5 meters square, I think, and the Rafale has about, I think, 0.3 or 0.4 maybe meter square RCS. If you compare that to a turd like the JF-17, it's like it has a 4 meter square RCS because it's made from basically the cheapest metal that the Chinese could get, assemble, and sell to the Pakistanis. So yeah, so both these aircrafts have similarities because we have made great strides, both of our countries, into specifically carbon composites and various metamaterials and radar absorbent coatings and the parts of both their planes. Some of these parts are actually composites. For example, the HL Tejas has one of the lightest wings in the world. And just like that, the Rafale has quite. So the development process, because we both possess very relatively weak engines, the F404 of the Tejas and the M88 of the Rafale. So so that has pushed us to create aircrafts that are super light. So one is that reason. The second reason is how our defense industry is developing. It kind of mirrors the French aerospace industry. Before the 1990s, the French aerospace industry was largely public, state-owned, and the main client was the state. But that changed. This process was called the internationalization of the French aeronautical or aerospace industry. And kind of same thing is happening. We have realized at this point that we cannot produce the HL Tejas or any aircraft that we are going to develop in the future. The public entities, the HAL, the DRDO cannot produce them alone. We need the help of private sector. So we are evolving. Okay. Yes, there are roadblocks, but I think they will be smoothened out. Anyway, so that's one thing. The third thing is, of course, we have the same kind of even the social evolution of both of our countries, which does play a part in organizations, in terms of politicians and bureaucrats and the military brass, and the same class struggle, the same caste. It can be equivalent to like our caste system. And we have that same socialist nature, basically, and we were pushed to become more liberal, more market, liberal market economies. We had socialist tendencies, both of our countries. So that exists. There is a strong relationship between the Republic of France, the French Republic, and the Republic of India. Now about the Germans. Germans too have shown keen interest in investing more into India's defense infrastructure and technology updation and so on and so forth. And even us, because ISRO has to use very advanced materials and in their space programs. So of course we also have great research in terms of various carbon composites and so on and so forth. So Germany is also, and Germans and us, we have also a great relationship. About Spain, I think Spanish are kind of chilled out people, and they kind of go with the flow. So I guess they'll just get along. And they have production facilities for the Airbus and European facilities and so on and so forth. And Germany too has signed a contract from Lockheed Martin, where a facility to design fuselage for the F-35 will be constructed in Germany by 2026, or maybe So it's not that they don't have facilities, and yes, so unlike a lot of people saying that no, Europe can design a whole aircraft, no, they can. And a lot of people, especially my Indian brothers and sisters, they comment in the comment section. They go and say, "Oh, hey, hey, look, the French are here just for profits. Everybody is here for profits. I own a company. I need profits. Anything you buy from an Indian company, they are deriving profits. So profits is a given. A business, that's a business, okay? So that argument is very stupid. Anyway, so that is if we take the relationship between us, the Indians, and the entities that are involved in the FCAS. Now, the reason behind why this offer was given to us. The first reason is quite simple. I think the Europeans understand that such tumultuous time or such off balance the regional balance of power is definitely in the hands of in the way of the Chinese right now. They have better aircrafts, better technology. So I think the Europeans are trying to achieve something called they've seen those wars, they have seen the Second World War, and they think that if something like that happens in Asia, well, so they're trying to prevent it. The first thing is, now you would say, oh no, that's a but I think, yeah, that's one of the reasons. The other main reason is that the French, the German, and the Spanish and the European aerospace industry as a whole has always struggled to compete with the American, Russian, and Chinese industry in terms of volume because they operate in Europe. So the transportation costs, the salaries, the research cost, and the everything, it comes up to a lot. And so they cannot really produce cheap aircraft just because they're Europeans and their regulations and they're stringent. And you can produce cheap aircraft too because, of course, it's Europe. You can't produce really bad things, unlike China. China can just produce anything and just sell it to someone like Pakistan or Nigeria. Okay, so yeah, that can be done. So they have always struggled with producing volume, despite having technologies that can produce great aircraft. They have struggled to produce them in numbers so they can be exported to various different countries and profits could be derived from it. So, but with us, they see that we have the basics. We have developed our own aircraft. We have developed production facilities. We have developed our own avionics, our own radars, our own radar coatings, carbon composites. So they know we know the basics. So if they and us, we start combining ourselves, combining our efforts, resources, so that would be beneficial for both us. We'll get the number of aircrafts that are required to maintain the regional balance of power against Pakistan and Chinese. Keep in mind both are nuclear powers, and the last thing the Europeans want is another World War III. And what they will get is an industrial base where they can produce aircrafts, where they can produce weapons that are cheap, and then they can export because we have low salaries, we have low cost of living compared to Europe, of course. We have transportation costs which are low, so everything is low, okay? So that means they can produce their aircrafts at quite lower costs. Okay, materials can be synthesized at a lower cost. So that means better product than the Chinese and the Russians. Maybe not, maybe equivalent to the Americans, but a lot cheaper. For example, an F-16 may cost 80 million, but an aircraft with the help of Germans and French and the Spanish and us, we combine our resources together and infrastructure and so on and so forth. We produce a version of Tejas. Imagine Airbus or any of the companies takes license of producing some version, some future version of this aircraft, this light aircraft, and they can produce quite cheaply. Even now, it's quite cheap. The only reason that countries refuse orders for the HL Tejas, it's not a bad aircraft, are two. First, it's the F404 engine. That's an old engine it's an outdated engine. Okay, it's the Mark 1 does not meet its operational operational capabilities still because of the engine. The second is that we don't have the production capacity because we do not know. Unlike the French and the Germans who have been producing aircraft for a long time, we are new to this. So we can't produce those aircraft in numbers, and that's kind of what happened in Malaysia, where they chose the KI-50, which is just an inferior aircraft to the HL Tejas, and but they have to keep those things into consideration. So that would give a good run for the money for everyone else. So that's one of the reasons. And then there is the geopolitical aspect of this whole thing. It is important that all powers remain equivalent. The balance of power in the world is equivalent. We can't let the Americans, the Chinese, the Russians, anyone get more powerful, okay, then, because if they do, especially the Chinese, if they have territorial aspirations, they have that dam out, they're going to build a dam on the upper Brahmaputra river, and it's going to be a problem. So to maintain that regional power, and maybe there is war, so it's important that we have aircrafts that can achieve air superiority over China. And we can do that because at this time, the Republic of India needs to take every advantage that we can get. Because if we don't get our shit together, of course, we'll not be able to produce an aircraft till 2050, a viable stealth aircraft. So we need the advantage. So we should at least try to cooperate with the French and the Germans and the Spaniards. Okay, maybe if we even decide not to be a part of the FCAS, we should at least try to collaborate. So that will be very beneficial to us. So how do you like the video? I try to be research oriented. I try to analyze topics, and I don't do the usual stuff like the media. I just don't sensationalize or just for entertainment. I try to give you an opinion that is informed. And to myself and to my subscribers, and please go ahead and subscribe, I try to give them a state of mind that is, okay, that is logical. So go ahead, subscribe to Liquid Rocket Volts, and hope you like this video. I was going to do the video for the history of the 6th generation aircraft, the Chinese. That's kind of delayed because I have something else to do. I have to go somewhere. So yeah, and please go ahead, and so of course your support means a lot. See, here's the thing, I do this as a hobby, and every subscriber we get, okay, so maybe we get 1,000 subscriber in the next maybe I don't know, 10 days, it'll be like an achievement for me. I know 1,000 subscribers doesn't seem like a lot for me because I'm doing this as something like I want to share my opinions with you, and I want to inform you of how things are. So yeah, so please subscribe, like, and comment. In the next video, I'll try to bring you the history of the 6th generation aircraft, the Chinese. And in this video, that's it. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and let the cooler heads prevail, and everyone be safe. Good luck. Happy New Year. Yeah, I'm out.